Here now with reaction, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, and JustTheNews.com founder, editor-in-chief, and chief investigative reporter John Solomon. All three have been very active in exposing a lot of the corruption. Let's start with you, Jim Jordan. I remember we had many a conversation all throughout these various scandals. Where do you think this goes?
Well, I think the main thing to remember, Sean, is it all started with Jim Comey. This almost decade-long attack on President Trump, it started with Comey in 2016. He's the guy who came up with abused the FISA process multiple times, as you talked about earlier. He's the guy who was involved in changing the intelligence community assessment. They changed the report in December of 2016. The whistleblowers come forward. Tulsi Gabbard has given us that information. And then he's the guy who leaked the dossier. So they changed the report. They then go up to Trump Tower on January 6, 2017, brief the president on the new report that wasn't supported by the underlying intelligence. They go up there, they brief him, and then he goes and leaks that to the press and thereby creates the predicate for the whole Mueller investigation and this entire sabotage of President Trump's first term. So it all started with Comey, and then he leaks information about all this to the press and lies to Congress about it. That is what took place here. And we're going back to the guy who started it all. You don't have Alvin Bragg. You don't have Fonnie Willis, Jack Smith, Adam Schiff. You don't have all this if you don't have Jim Comey back in 2016 starting it all. So this is why I think this is so warranted, so appropriate that he's now going to be hopefully held accountable.
And I do believe there could be, more indictments down the road. Mr. Comer, Congressman, you have been all over this in so many different ways, and you've had many, many referrals. It sounds to me and it looks to me like many more are coming. What would you like to see happen next if you believe in justice and the rule of law?
Well, first of all, with respect to James Comey, you cannot lie to Congress and get away with it. Otherwise, what's the point in having congressional hearings if people are going to lie under oath and never be held accountable? So I'm confident Comey's going to be held accountable. I applaud the Trump Department of Justice. This is what should happen. But he's not the only person, Sean, that's lied to Congress. Dr. Fauci's lied to the House Oversight Committee. Hunter Biden lied to the House Oversight Committee. Jim Biden lied to the Oversight Committee. There are criminal referrals there as well. And I think that Comey is the first step in what many people in America that believe in the Constitution and want to see justice, I believe, is the first step with Comey. And I think there are going to be many more. Finally, we're going to see accountability. And, God bless Donald Trump and his administration, Tulsi and John Ratcliffe and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel for exposing the corruption in the deep state agencies. And Jim Jordan's right. Comey was the first person that started this all, and I think now we're going to see the phase of accountability, and that's what we've all been working so hard in these congressional investigations for.
John, I want to go to you after hearing from both congressmen and both chairmen. And I want to ask you this, because you were at the forefront of breaking so many, I can't even count how many stories you broke and shared with us as it relates to all of these matters, and apply it to the term Kash Patel is using, a grand conspiracy that spans, 10 years. What is next? What should be next? What do you anticipate will be next?
Well, first off, I want to applaud the two chairmen, because without them, we wouldn't know 3/4 of what we know today. The predicate for all of that the FBI is looking at was dug up by Congress from a hostile administration called the Obama administration, the Biden administration. So without them, we don't know this. We're going to learn who persons 1, 2, 3 are in the grand jury indictment. You're going to find out person 1 is Hillary Clinton. That's who the leak is about. Person 2 is Donald Trump. He's the victim of the leak. And person 3 is Daniel Richman, one of the advisors for the president. And at the end of the day, people will want to focus this on, this is the mainstream media will call this is retribution. It's just a tiny little leak case. It's not. This leak is a symptom of something that James Comey started in the FBI, and that is the politicalization and the political weaponization of the FBI. It began on his watch, leaking, lying, usurping the power of the Justice Department, launching false investigations, and by 2020, his own rank and file, the agents that used to work for James Comey, he handed off to Wray. They told an after-action report of Congress that they believed the FBI had become incurably biased, that it was infected with woke ideology, and it was beginning to treat liberals and conservatives differently. They were looking at political stripes and not the evidence. That's the legacy of James Comey that gets punished with this indictment.
Let me ask you all the same exit question. Does this span over the course of 3 presidential elections in terms of attempts to prevent Donald Trump from being president, deep state operatives trying to undermine and put cinder blocks on scales of an election? Jim Jordan.
Yes, it certainly does, Sean. Remember, he leaked to the press that he had briefed the president-elect back in January 6, 2017 about the dossier. The dossier he already knew was false. They knew it was garbage and paid for by the Clinton campaign. So, yes.
Yeah. And James Comey.
Yes, absolutely. This has spanned many administrations, and I'm glad to see the truth is out and accountability is happening.
Does it span 3 presidential elections, John Solomon?
Yes, it does. It's the ultimate weaponization of the law enforcement community against the people of the United States. That's who the ultimate victim was. They didn't get the full benefit of their president because of what James Comey and the FBI did.
Let me echo what John Solomon said, and except I'm going to include John Solomon. I don't think we would be where we are but for the 3 of you. Can't thank you enough for getting to the truth. We appreciate it.